These are my recommendations for real-time strategy and base building game demos to try out during the Steam's Next Fest from the 9th to the 16th of June. I hope you will enjoy trying out these games and wishlist them, as some will be released soon. Also, feel free to share your impressions from playing them in the comments or mention other game demos you think are worth trying out during this Next Fest. A fantasy-themed indie RTS game we got to try out before, but which now has AI bots with 6 difficulty levels, is Immortal Gates of Pyre. Devs have added a new Immortal character with his own abilities, as well as 2 fresh units, procedurally generated PvE missions, as well as a host of quality of life improvements. What sets this game apart is the AI assist mode, which lets you delegate base buildings and even unit production to your AI, who you give predetermined instructions. Another game which has this type of AI assist mode is the Scouring, whose developers have made several demos and a playtest so far, with a new demo available to us all now, including 2 new maps to play on. Besides the 2 factions, humans and orcs, to play in skirmish and multiplayer with up to 8 players, there are also heroes and specific game modes to try these heroes in. More factions and units are on the way, with balancing patches being released regularly. Probably the biggest demo surprise and the most complex game is Era 1, the new Homeworld sequel we all should have gotten, but at least now this game gives us a second chance at that. The core gameplay features which are part of this demo are ship and base customization using modular components, dynamic space battles, resource collection, and research for technological progression. Game modes are Wave Attack, Scenario, and Survival. Its early access release will follow soon. From ex-AAA game developers, we are getting a new demo for Fleetbreakers, a sci-fi spaceship-based game which has both abilities to use and a mothership to protect. There are several roguelike elements to this game, as well as a replayable campaign mode, whose first few missions we can test out in this demo. Devs have updated their UI, game balance, added new encounters, an attack-facing feature, and a bunch more existing features have been improved. Next up, we have a sequel to a small-scale RTS with a more relaxed art style and maps which are spread out in many connected rings, from which the game gets its name, Circle Empires 2. There is resource collection here, despite the quick combat between medieval and fantasy units, but some of the new features are creatures which can be mounted and ridden into battle, as well as new units, buildings, upgrades, and especially terrain effects which add depth and strategy to the game. An RTS auto-battler game I showcased before is getting a brand new demo with gameplay that is meant to challenge your skills as a general, not as a unit commander. This is because you have modular units to construct and set up programmable behaviors for them instead of commanding them yourself, while you collect resources and defend key positions on planets with diverse environments. There is a pause option if you get overwhelmed learning the game's customization options. This next demo is of Stronghold Crusader and its upcoming Definitive Edition, which will include 20 unique enemy lords, new historical units, campaigns, and co-op modes on the largest maps ever. The 10,000 unit cap is going to make these maps look very much alive and make all of us attempt to write our names on the brand new leaderboards. Few games like Stronghold have captured our interest for decades, so it is understandable we want to play them in these new versions. A very different game is Realms of Madness, which is a side-view fantasy castle builder with just as much combat and fortifications as any Stronghold game. Its new demo sends us to a winter-themed map, but there are several more in the full game. The combat between swordsmen, archers, siege units and mythical creatures might be tactical, but the fortress building and trap setting is very much strategic. I know it is not the kind of game you're used to, but I hope you will try it out. If you don't like fantasy, how about some science fiction mixed with dinosaurs? Because this is the theme in Repterra, a survival RTS which has a playtest beta of sorts you can apply for on its Steam store page. What is great about it is that humans don't stand alone against waves of crazed and hungry dinosaurs, but can tame, breed and train them for their own use. The base building aspect is quite present, as you have to set up production lines, fuel grids and defenses. Another survival and base building RTS, but with a very different enemy, is Calyx. Here you land on a new planet which is overgrown with an alien organism which spreads like a massive plant that isn't going to allow you to mine its plant's riches. The new playtest can be accessed on their Steam store page and it works really well, while I advise playing the tutorial to figure out its power distribution system, resource exchange mechanics and unit capabilities. Now in Crown of Greed you do almost the exact opposite, as you spread across a map with your buildings and automated heroes and push out all uncivilized creatures to the fringes. I have mentioned it before, as I love its Majesty-inspired gameplay where managing your heroes through indirect bounties can produce some headaches, but it is also a more relaxed way of playing a real-time strategy game, as you don't have to manually direct units, just build their homes and pay for upgrades. This last RTS in development, which has a new demo, is Liquidation, and it is a bonus in this video because I didn't manage to give you a preview of its new demo sooner. It is open for only a little while longer, so if you want to try out its newly added faction, the Scourge Alliance, or its recently announced King of the Hill mode, you should download it as soon as you finish watching this video. Okay, so what are you waiting for? Go and play these games.